By overwhelming demand, the Summer of 99 Tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of 99 Tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
The new issue of Slam, the cover dropped, and it is our friend Jaren Jackson Jr. on the cover.
And shout out to you, Lane.
Yeah.
You kept, well, I mean, we knew about it, but you kept this a secret the whole time.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for
I
putting
wrote
this
this story.
together.
We did the photo shoot a couple weeks ago here on a Sunday afternoon in the practice court. The Sneak Fest show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Live from the Built Ford Tough studio at FedEx Forum, it's the Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South, on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Now, here's your host, Gary Parrish.
All right, I'm here. My name is Gary Parrish. I'm speaking to you from the Built Ford Tough studio, FedEx Forum, downtown Memphis. Bennett Doyle's right there, producing the program. Glad he's with me. Glad you're with me. Hope you're getting through the day best you can. And I hope you're ready for high-stakes basketball in downtown Memphis, because we're getting it tonight. It's an elimination game. Grizzlies and Mavericks, 8:30 tip. Tickets available, grizzlies.com. The winner advances to a best-of-7 series against the Oklahoma City Thunder that is scheduled to start on Sunday. The loser is Dunzo. It's an elimination game. It's just like a Game 7. It fits the description of a Game 7.
Okay.
What do you know about Game 7s, Bennett?
It's win or go home.
It's win or go home.
Or stay home, I guess.
What is tonight? It's a win or you're done situation. This is like a Game 7.
Yeah.
Can I interest you in a Game 7 on a Friday night in downtown Memphis?
On Good Friday? Sure.
On Good Friday. On Good Friday.
I'll take it.
Let's celebrate.
Okay.
Let's celebrate on Good Friday. That's the way we plan to end Good Friday, is by a celebration in downtown Memphis. We're going to talk through it momentarily. First, though, quickly, let me set today's schedule for you. In the next segment, about 20 minutes or so, Jessica Benson's going to join me. She, of course, is the host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, weekdays 8 a.m. She'll pop in studio. I'll chop it up with her. Finish talking to Jess, take a break, come back, do 5 more things you need to know, at which point we're going to discuss 5 previously undiscussed stories. Among them, rough day for Penny Hardaway's Tigers. As feared, All-American guard P.J. Haggerty has entered the transfer portal. That's obviously not a good sign for where things could be headed. Can Memphis come up with enough money to keep him on campus? Folks are skeptical. We'll discuss it in about 40 minutes. Phoenix owner Matt Ishbia described what he wants his sons to look like going forward, and he used some words that might sound a little familiar. What is this guy doing out in Arizona?
Okay.
He used some words, Bennett, and when I say them to you, I think you're going to recognize them.
Okay.
And then I think you're going to find it wildly disrespectful.
Oh, okay.
That an owner in Phoenix thinks he could just take these words and try to make them his own. I'm not going to stand for it.
All right.
I'll fill you in a little later on in the show. Buck star Damian Lillard is now off of blood thinners and expected to eventually play in this postseason, according to Doc Rivers. He is out for Saturday's Game 1 against the Pacers, but Doc Rivers did say they expect Damian Lillard to play at some point this postseason. Nice news. I'll give you the details on that in just a bit. Aaron Rodgers updated the world on where he's at with the Pittsburgh Steelers and explained how his final meeting with the Jets went down. I think I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers' side on a couple of these issues. Okay. And that's not something I've been doing over the past few years, but I thought he made some decent points yesterday. I'll tell you what he said. We'll do that in the third segment. And a new Star Wars movie is on the way, starring Ryan Gosling.
Star power.
He is. He's a real star. This is Ken Doll and The Notebook and now the star of a Star Wars movie. Ryan Gosling's a real star.
Yeah, he is.
Things seem to be going okay for him. I gather folks are excited about this. I'll ask Bennett what he thinks. We'll do it during a segment we call 5 More Things You Need to Know. Then we'll eventually do GP's carry-out and call it a day. So that's the rundown. We've got a lot to get to. But I did want to start with your Memphis Grizzlies because Game 84 of the 2024-25 season, it's going to be played tonight here in downtown Memphis. Grizz Mavericks inside FedEx Forum. Tip is set for a little after 8:30. You can watch it on ESPN. Tickets are available. Grizzlies.com. And the Grizzlies are listed as 6.5-point favorites.
Oh, how about that? I didn't know that.
6.5-point favorites. And the number hasn't moved despite status reports being updated late yesterday. The good news is that the Grizzlies are 6.5-point favorites. That's a great thing to be in an elimination game. The bad news, of course, is that even though it's not surprising, it's still concerning that Ja Morant is listed as questionable with a sprained right ankle that he suffered Tuesday night in a loss to the Golden State Warriors. As you know, Ja left that game in pain, took something that made him feel better, and eventually returned and finished the contest. He was on the court in the final seconds. But per usual, ankle sprains tend to get worse the following day, not better. And yesterday at practice, Ja Morant was a non-participant and noticeably limping. He's listed as questionable for tonight, and I imagine he'll stay labeled that way until we get another update just before tip-off. Bennett, how are the vibes? On one hand, I just told you, the Grizzlies are 6.5-point favorites in an elimination game at home on a Friday night. That's great news. On the other hand, I just told you the star point guard is listed as questionable, did not practice yesterday, and was noticeably limping around. How do you take all that information and decide how to feel? How do you feel on this Friday?
Honestly, if it wasn't for the ankle injury with Ja, I would feel great. Like, I would feel really good about it just because, they don't have
Luka Doncic.
They don't have Luka. That's right.
Yeah.
And they just don't have.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you, Nico.
Yeah, thank you, Nico. Let's bust that out tonight.
Thank you, Nico.
If we win. I think that.
I don't know if we're going to see Ja Morant tonight, but I know who we ain't going to see for sure. And that's Luka Doncic. Thank you, Nico.
That's right. And I know they have Klay Thompson, but like their strength is in their bigs. It's not in their guards. And so if you have a full strength Ja Morant and Desmond Bane, I feel like really, really great about the matchup going into tonight because I think both of those dudes would just go off. But Ja, we'll see, how healthy he is if he's able to play tonight. And again, they're a big team. We talked about it yesterday. Like, they got 3 really good bigs. And, Jaren kind of struggled in that last game against the Warriors. And they're not that big. So and he struggled with Anthony Davis in the past. So he's going to have a big game tonight.
I do believe it is very easy to get caught up in the Mavericks are a mess. The Mavericks are a disaster. The Mavericks fans hate their own team. Mm-hmm. The Maverick fans want to fire the general manager because he nonsensically traded a generational talent in his prime for reasons that make no sense to anybody other than him. And even when you ask him to explain it, he cannot do it.
Right.
Like, this is the biggest problem for him. You can't even explain this thing nobody else understands that you did. Like, I do this all the time with people, both professionally and personally. Okay, I don't understand why you did what you just did, but I'm willing to listen. It doesn't make sense to me on a surface level, but I'm willing to listen. Explain it to me from your perspective. And I still might not agree with you, but I'd still like to at least understand your logic. And you do that with Nico. They did it earlier this week. Tim McMahon came prepared, and he couldn't answer the questions. Tim McMahon genuinely just looked at Nico Harrison and said, What is the logic behind trading Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and creating this timeline for a championship when you also don't have control of your assets in A, B, C, and D? Just a very basic question. What people look at when they look at your situation is, if you're going to trade Luka Doncic, first off, we think it's crazy, but you should do it this way. You did it this way.
Yeah.
And prioritize these things. Nobody seems to understand that. But I would love to give you the opportunity to explain it. And you know what he said? Defense wins championships. That doesn't explain what you did and why you did it and how you did it. But I'll give you another chance. What is the logic behind it? And he was like, well, I can see you don't disagree with me. It's got nothing to do with whether I disagree with you or not. It's known that everybody disagrees with you.
Right.
Buddy, everybody disagrees with you. I'm just asking you to explain it from your perspective. And we'll still all disagree with you, but at least you have it on the record. This is why I did it, exactly why. Logically, this is how it made sense to me. Can't do it. Can't do it. All right? So it's very easy to get caught up in that and be like, they're a mess.
Right.
You know what the truth is? Yeah, they struggled since the trade deadline the same way the Grizzlies struggled since the trade deadline, but a lot of that was because Anthony Davis wasn't playing.
And they lost Kyrie.
And Kyrie's not back and he ain't coming back, so they ain't got nothing to do with tonight. But, like, as they have gotten players back, they have started to play better and look better. They are not what they were. They will never be what they could have been if not for this nonsensical trade. But this is still a basketball team that went to Sacramento the other night and won no problem.
Blasted them, yeah.
And won no problem.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony Davis is still a great player in this league.
Yes.
I wouldn't have traded Luka Doncic for him, but he's still a great player.
In the spirit of two things can be true at once.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is a great player. Trading Luka Doncic for him is stupid.
Yes.
All right? Anthony Davis is an incredible player when he's on the court. Trading Luka Doncic for him is the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
Right.
All right? But he will be on the court tonight, and he is... there's a chance he'll be the best player on the court tonight.
Yes. That's the thing, especially if you have a hobbled jaw out there. I'm completely with you. So it's not going to be easy. That's why I was surprised when you told me that we're 6.5 point favorites. And I was like, whoa, okay. I
will tell you, and read into it whatever you want, but I do like that it opened at 6.5. The news comes out about Ja. And that number hasn't moved. At all. And honestly, 6.5 seems kind of like a big number anyway. You're laying 6.5 for the Grizzlies team that ain't beat nobody good in forever.
Yeah.
We are obviously prohibited, but I wouldn't feel comfortable laying 6.5 points.
Right.
With a hobbled Ja Morant and a team that hadn't beaten anybody good in forever or rarely done it all season. But the number never moved for some reason. It seems like Vegas is begging people to take the Mavericks plus the points.
Yeah. So that's a positive.
I don't know if it's a positive, but it's noticeable.
Yeah, it's noticeable. So, it's I think we both agree. We talked about this a lot yesterday. Making the playoffs is very important for this team. It just is. You feel so different. I don't care what happens in the Oklahoma City series. If they get there, they probably lose it. Whatever. You just feel so different about this team if they make the playoffs as opposed to not making the playoffs.
100% agree.
Yes.
And let me be clear. If you go and get embarrassed by the Oklahoma City Thunder, that will feel like shit too.
It will.
But it won't feel as bad as this. And even that, to worry too much about how you're going to feel if you get embarrassed by the Thunder is to eliminate the possibility, small as it might be, that something amazing could happen. These are basketball games. The same way Ja Morant sprained an ankle on Tuesday, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could sprain one on Sunday. You can't win a fight unless you're in it, right?
Yeah.
That's what we talked about yesterday. You can't win a fight unless you're in it. You can't hit a homer unless you swing the bat. You can't win an Oscar unless you're in the movie. You got to get in the movie.
Yeah.
The only way to get in the movie is to win tonight. And I'm not dismissive of it'll cost you a draft pick. That's a real asset. That does matter. It could either be used on a player or used to bring something else into the franchise. That's a real asset. I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm just saying if my options are you can get in a fight, you can get in a movie and lose your pick, or lose tonight and keep a pick. I don't want to lose tonight.
Yeah,
I want to be in the fight.
I want to be in it too. And it's kind of weird. I've been trying to, justify things in my head over the past couple of days and thinking about, this season and how it's gone and whatnot. And I've kind of landed on what's really the difference between, let's say they do get blasted by Oklahoma City. What's really the difference between getting blasted by Oklahoma City in the first round and in the second round? I mean, yeah, you would have won a playoff series, and that's great. Like you would feel positive about winning a playoff series. But in the grand scheme of things, like, it's not that big of a difference.
Well, I mean, you would have something.
You'd have something to build on.
You'd have home playoff wins. You'd have.
That's true.
The truth is, you shouldn't be playing the Thunder in the first round.
That's right. That's right.
You messed this up with your approach. You got too cute with it, and this is what you created all season long. You didn't prioritize winning regular season games in the spirit of big picture. It'll be advantageous for us because when the playoffs get here, we'll be healthy, we'll be rested, we'll be fresh. Well, you're not healthy. Ever, by the way, ever.
Right.
Okay? So, like imagine spending 82 games preparing to be healthy when you're just never healthy anyway.
That's true.
All right? So you de-emphasize winning in the regular season, got real cute with it, with the idea behind it being, we'll be fresh and healthy and ready to go. You're not fresh, you're not healthy, and you're not ready to go. You've set yourself up for failure. Your approach that you thought was setting yourself up for success quite literally is the thing that set you up for failure. Forget the injuries. Those things happen. Those are unavoidable. Playing your starters in the fourth quarter, normal fourth quarter minutes, that's just something you're allowed to do. And they elected not to so many times. And it led to this. The approach that they thought was going to set them up for success has set them up for failure. That's a fact. Ain't nothing we can do about that now. It is what it is.
Yep.
But when you say what's the difference between playing the Thunder in the first round or the second round or in the Western Conference Finals, I think a lot.
Okay.
You get wins. You feel better about yourself. A lot. As it is, there's only one path through this thing now. It is what it is.
Yep.
You play tonight, you have to play the Thunder. It probably won't go well, I know. I'm not ever going to sit here and be like, and I think if you really take a deep dive, you can figure out ways. No, they will probably lose convincingly. One team is awesome and the other team has shown nothing to suggest that it is. But I want to get in a fight.
I do too, man.
I want to get in a fight. If I just
want to get there. I want to see it. I got to see it.
If I come out bloodied, then I come out bloodied and maybe we learn something from that, right? Maybe we learn something from that. Or maybe something good happens. 8 seeds have beaten 1 seeds. This franchise as an 8 seed has beaten a 1 seed. Goofy stuff happens in basketball all the time at all levels. All right? At all levels. Would it take something goofy? Yeah, it'll take something goofy. But goofy stuff does happen. You don't even allow for the possibility of something goofy to happen if you're not in a fight. You got to get in a fight. Let's win tonight, get in a fight, be up 12 with 45 seconds to go, and then I expect FedEx Forum to start a thank you, Nico chant. Up 12, 45 seconds left. Thank you, Nico.
God, that's so mean, but
it's time.
I think it's warranted.
I think it's warranted.
Yeah.
I think it's warranted.
I want some kind of chant tonight.
That's the chant. Up 12, 45 seconds to go. Thank you, Nico.
What about just let's go Grizzlies? No?
Nope.
Okay.
Bennett, I know they don't teach you this. But sometimes I have found in life, the only way to make yourself feel better is to make somebody else feel worse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, I know that sounds like something I would teach my kids. It's not something I'm proud of. But it can be a mechanism. And tonight, one of the ways we will make ourselves feel better is by making the Mavericks feel worse. Beat them by 12. 45 seconds to go. Thank you, Nico chant, inside FedEx Forum.
I'm in.
Picked up on ESPN. Bennett, I want you to start it.
I can't. I
want
don't
you to
think
start
Eric would get mad if I did that. I can't do that.
Well, Eric's going to be mad about something no matter what.
He can't. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that.
I want you to start it.
I can't. I'll ask Vernon to do it.
Vernon probably would do it.
Or no, actually, they'll have international, so I won't be sitting next to Vernon tonight.
I want you to get the international broadcast team to do it.
Okay.
Thank you,
In
Nico
Spanish.
chant in Spanish.
Okay.
How do you say that in Spanish?
I don't know. Yeah, gracias. Thanks, Kyra.
Thanks, Kyra.
I had to think about it for a second. God, I'm
How
an idiot.
stupid are we?
I'm the dumbest
How
person.
stupid are we? We don't know what gracias is. It's like the one word I know. Hola and gracias. And
Yikes.
that's it. That's all I know. Do you know my last 2 classes in college were Spanish?
I took French, so you can't blame me. I took French in college.
Kyra just made me realize in real time how stupid I am.
Uh-huh.
I
really was sitting there like,
I
wait,
wonder if
what's that?
anybody
I was like, thank you.
I wonder if anybody can figure out how to say thank you in Spanish. It's gracias, dipshit.
Damn.
It's gracias. All right? It's gracias. We've said it at every Mexican restaurant for your entire life. Gracias. Don't you hate it when somebody shows up at the Mexican restaurant and tries to speak Spanish to the server?
Oh, yeah.
They'll be like, hola, hola, blah, 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 whatever you do it. And it's like, bro.
I mean, if they're Spanish, it's okay.
Of course. I'm not telling a Spanish speak, but it's like somebody who took.
A white dude.
It's like a dude who looks like me who took 2 semesters at Northwest Mississippi Community College. And now he's like trying to order cervezas and he's real proud of himself. Just relax, buddy. Just tell him you want a cheese quesadilla and let's be done with it.
Yeah, don't say cerveza
Don't
either.
say cerveza.
That's embarrassing, too.
It's embarrassing. Just tell him you want a Corona and a cheese quesadilla and a large
please
cheese
and
dip.
thank you.
And please and thank you. Stop trying gracias. But I am glad now I've got that word in my back pocket.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm trying to tell you. My last 2 classes that I ever took in college to graduate were Spanish 3 and Spanish 4. I had to take, that's what I needed to graduate, Spanish 3, Spanish 4. I already had my job at the Commercial Appeal. They hired me based on I'm going to graduate college at the end of the summer. I basically did 4 years of college plus that last summer segment. I graduated in August. And I didn't have time to take 1, 2, 3, and 4. I only needed 3 and 4. But it's like, buddy, you better not try to take 3 before you take 1 and 2. You don't even know gracias. Okay. I swear to God, this is how I finished my college career as a University of Memphis graduate.
Okay.
I went to Southwest Tennessee, or at the time it was Shelby State, maybe. I don't know. And I took Spanish 3 and Spanish 4.
Transferred the credits.
And transferred them back. And this is what I did. I went and I introduced myself to my professor the first day of class. He was a man. And I said, hi, my name's Gary, and I'm a student at the university. I told him my whole story. I said, listen, I'm just going to be completely honest with you. I'm a journalism major. I wish I would have taken Spanish more seriously when I was in high school, but I didn't. I didn't take anything seriously when I was in high school. Now I'm a journalism major, and I need Spanish 3 and 4 to graduate. That's why I'm here. I'm enrolled in your Spanish 3 class, and I'm going to enroll in your Spanish 4 class in the second part of the summer semester, and I'm going to be a college graduate. As long as I get D's, I will be a college graduate when this is over. I'm just going to level with you. I don't know anything, okay? I don't belong in this class. But I already have a job at the Commercial Appeal newspaper lined up. They're hiring me. I just have to get this done. I'll be here every day. I'm going to do all the work. But I'm not equipped to be in this class. I know that going in. I'm going to be here every day. I'm going to look you in the eyes. I'm going to do everything I can do, but I am ill-equipped to be here. And he said he understood, and we worked through it.
That's cool.
We got it done.
I love it when a professor's like that.
I don't know that I got A's or even B's, but I got what I needed to graduate college. So Spanish holds a special place in my heart.
That's cool, man.
I can't speak
Gracias to that teacher.
Gracias to that teacher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And so Professor. And so tonight, I want you to share that story with the international broadcast team.
Okay, I will.
And then tell them gracias for coming to our city. And then I want you to get them to start a fire.
I like the Mavs folks too. They're good people.
Get them to start They might start a thank you Nico chant or a fire Nico chant, depending on their perspective.
Depending on how this goes. Yeah.
All right. We know what the plan is tonight. Here's how the rest of this day is going to go. We're going to get news just before tip-off. Ja Morant is in uniform and he's going to play. He's going to come out and he's going to fight through everything and be amazing. The Grizzlies will be up comfortably in the final minute. The international broadcast team will start a thank you Nico chant inside FedEx Forum. Then we hit Bill Street, get a drink, call it a night.
Love it.
Love it. That's the plan. That's the plan. I'll see if I can get Jessica Benson to co-sign it. She'll be in here next.
Debo traded from San Francisco to the Commanders for a 5th-round pick. There's no other sport where you would get a player of his ilk for a 5th-round pick.
Over under total yards for Debo. If they set it at 1,000. You think he hits that over?
Total yards?
Total yards from scrimmage, total yards.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
I need cameras to capture every waking moment between Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston on the same team. The pregame prayers will be generational.
Because that's preacher and a deacon. That's what we're talking about here. That prayer's going to be 40 minutes. We're going to miss the anthem.
Tune in to the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, live every weekday at 8 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. We're inside the Bill Ford Tough Studio, and on Fridays in the second segment, I'm joined by Jessica Benson, host of the Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt, weekdays 8 a.m. She's here right now in all black. That looks like you're dressed for a funeral. Are you dressed for a funeral?
No.
You look like you might be dressed for a funeral.
So I have orange shoes on.
Okay, let's see them. All right.
Orange Crocs.
Okay.
This whole outfit is a representation of my husband's off for Good Friday. Out of
Happy
respect.
Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday to you.
Happy Good Friday.
Happy Good Friday.
I remember when I was young, Good Friday could get out of hand. She doesn't know how to.
No,
I don't
it's
know
on,
how
it's
to
on
use
me.
a microphone.
That's on me.
You didn't set it up for me.
I didn't set it up.
It is not a Good Friday. It is a bad Friday.
I forgot Jessica does not set up her own mic.
No, that's my
really
bad.
basic.
Could you every morning come over here and set my mic up for me?
I can actually.
I usually just come over and do it myself,
Yeah.
but I didn't know as talent.
Well, I was like running.
breaking
I was
yours
like
now, too?
running inside here.
I didn't
today,
know
so,
as
yeah.
talent. I didn't know as talent we didn't have to touch our own
Don't touch the
microphones.
mic. It's like don't pump your own gas in Oregon.
Do you like that? How you
touch
feel
my-
about that?
I hate that. It makes me uncomfortable.
I don't like
'cause
it either.
I've pumped my gas my whole life.
It's like New Jersey,
Yeah,
I think,
so
is
it's like
another
you
state
just
where,
Jersey,
turn
yeah.
off.
yeah,
And
where
they're
you,
like, no, don't touch it.
yeah, they're
And I'm
just
like,
like,
okay, I'm sorry.
yes.
Am I gonna go to jail?
It's just, I don't need to involve people in
No.
things that I don't need them involved in.
Yeah,
So like, I can pump my own gas.
right.
I don't need you here.
I agree.
You know who I hate worse than those people?
Who?
Bathroom attendants.
Oh God.
I hate a bathroom
I
attendant.
also hate a bathroom attendant.
Buddy,
no
I don't need you here.
disrespect
If I
to a bathroom
want
attendant.
a towel, I'll get one. If I want a mint, I'll grab one. I don't need you. Hey, buddy, you want a mint? Like, just stay out of it.
Yeah.
All right.
And then sometimes, like when you're young, you have your first experience with a bathroom attendant, and no one teaches you. So then they're giving you a mint, and you're like, "Oh, this is so nice." And then they're like, "That'll be $5
Yeah,
for
right.
one mint in Las Vegas," and you're like, "Oh no."
Do you know what I heard is a motivating factor for bathroom attendants at certain places like clubs and stuff? Cut down on drug use.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they make sure. Like if you're in a bathroom for too long
Right.
in Las Vegas,
You're either blowing lines or hooking up.
as somebody who sometimes just likes to seek refuge in a bathroom,
Yeah.
like I have. In my life, there's been a time where I've told a bathroom attendant, I'm just trying to sit down for a few minutes.
Right.
Like, I promise I'm not doing drugs.
Right.
Please don't come check on me.
But that's the thing.
But yes, or like to keep two people from going
That's
into
right.
the same stall. And
That's
all
right.
That stuff. Yeah.
That's right. Anyway, I hate bathroom
Anyway,
attendants.
I forgot to lay clothes out last night, not realizing that Chris wouldn't even be getting up before I left for work, because usually he gets up with like 10 minutes to go. And so I'm just like moseying around in my pajamas this morning, and I'm like, why is Chris not up? Did his alarm not go off? And then I remembered it's Good Friday, so he's not getting up. And out of the kindness of my heart, I found this outfit in our guest room, and I found these Crocs, and so I just wore this.
So you address
not wake him up.
So I am fashion shaming you as I sit here.
As I was doing something nice.
As I sit here in a T-shirt
Yeah.
and a hat that people
Yeah.
constantly make fun of.
Yes.
All right? I'm fashion shaming you. And in reality, the only reason you were dressed this way is because you were trying to be a wonderful wife to your husband.
It's true. Look at you.
That's
and
on me.
It's
That's
funny
on
you brought
me.
it up, though, because I just went
I
to our
apologize.
boss and I was asking him, do you know what jerseys the Mavericks are wearing tonight? Because sometimes the Mavericks have something that has like a green accent.
They do
on
that
it.
green thing.
I got screwed when they were here like 2 times ago because I wore a green dress and everyone's like, oh, are you rooting for the Mavericks? And I was like, no, I don't think of green with the Mavericks, but I have lime green pants for tonight's game, and so I was making sure the Mavericks.
Well, we're
and my
green
other
tonight.
option was all black, which I made the joke. I don't want to be dressed for a funeral, so to bring it all back.
There we go.
We're
I'm not
green.
dressed
We're
for a
green
funeral.
too tonight. We're throwbacks tonight, so we got green.
Yeah, but it's like the lime green. Like I just didn't
Yeah, I
want
got
it
you.
to match the Mavericks green.
Well,
I
I
want there
hope-
to be no questions of who I'm rooting
I
for
understand.
tonight.
I don't think anybody's going to question that.
Well, there's some people in this city.
Are there?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
it's crazy.
Yeah. I'm getting good at just not even realizing those people exist.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just sort of keep your eyes up here.
Okay.
You know what you're saying? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You don't have
my eyes are up
You don't
here,
have to,
buddy.
You don't have to see everything people say. I find it counterproductive.
Do you read comments?
Yes. I hate it when people act like they don't see anything.
No, I
of
don't
course
mean
I
about
do.
you.
Oh.
I mean just like random. Like if you read an article,
Oh, God,
do you go
yes.
read the comments?
No.
Really?
I do.
I did it this morning.
I love it.
I
They're
read an
usually
article about
hilarious.
Rosie O'Donnell moving to Ireland, and I said, I want to read the comments for this.
But I already know what all the comments are.
But they weren't actually. It was a fair number of both sides. of
No,
the coin.
that's not how I spend my time.
Okay.
To the extent I read comments, it will be strictly like Reddit threads on subjects that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I don't consider that comments. That's research.
So I do my research.
Me too.
I do my own
I love
research
Reddit.
on the internet. I love Reddit.
I finally downloaded the Reddit app. I've been
Got it.
freeballing it on the Safari app
No,
for
no,
a
no.
long time.
No, I got the Reddit app, the whole deal. I like to see what people are thinking about stuff and theorizing about things. Like something as simple as, the Kendrick Lamar tour starts this weekend. What's that set list going to look like? Nobody knows yet, right?
Yes.
But on Reddit, there'll be a whole thread of
Oh, yeah.
people saying, I think it should start with this. And nobody knows, but I just sort of like the ideas.
White Lotus Reddit was crazy.
Oh, yeah. I get in that. So I enjoy all that stuff. But in terms of just comments on stories, no, I stay away from that. I thought you were meaning like comments on Twitter and like
yeah. Those
social
are
media.
whatever.
And I do see, but I'm very good at just like,
Me too. I don't care anymore.
I don't want to say I don't
For the
care.
most part, yeah, I
I'm
don't
not like
either. That's not
hardened
right.
and nothing bothers me. But like,
Don't let it ruin a day.
I just, I have, no,
Okay.
I have reached a point. I have rules for myself. You cannot ruin my day unless you live with me.
Oh.
All right? You can't ruin my day unless you live with me.
My day will be ruined if the Grizzlies lose. So
Yeah,
I
Yes,
can't
I don't
make
mean
that
like that. Like, I
argument.
don't like the
My
Grizzlies
weekend,
losing.
yeah.
I don't like the Mets losing. But I mean, in terms of like real life stuff, like I think that's basically true.
That's
the
fair.
only people I will let impact my emotions in any real way are the people who live with me.
And your sports teams.
Well, sure, but like,
But like actually, yeah, I think
Like-
that's a good rule of thumb. If this person is not actually involved in my day-to-day life, why would I allow them to ruin my day?
there you go. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
And traffic. People on the roads.
Okay, Bennett.
Geez, you're mad about everything. No, I just mean that.
Have you tried meditating?
No, I'm just like, I barely got in here this morning because of traffic.
Oh.
And people cut you off and
Yeah,
stuff
get
like
all that.
Yeah,
You can be
I'm
aggravated.
just saying.
Here-
Why don't you just take your time, Bennett?
Here's what I'm. Here's what
Give
I.
yourself an extra 10.
Here's what I mean. Here's what I mean. When I tweet something,
Yeah.
and the response to it from somebody is something so over the top that it's not even a criticism of the words that I tweeted or the work that I put out. It's just like, you suck and I don't know why you have a job. Like if that, because it has literally never occurred to me to tweet that at somebody.
Yeah.
Like I've never read a Jeff Passan column, even one where he's criticizing the Mets and been like, I have to tweet him that he's
Right.
the worst person on. So I just have reached a point where when I see those comments, and I do see them, but I go, man, there's something wrong with that person. Like that's
Yes.
like I struggle with my own stuff, but that person must really be struggling that they feel like that is an outlet for them to
Yeah.
call a stranger all of these awful words
But
for
it's so-
no logical reason.
Yeah.
So that stuff used to be like, man, what?
That hurts my feelings. What did I do wrong?
Maybe I do suck at my job.
Yeah.
And I suck at a lot of things, but I'm pretty secure with my work. I
Yeah.
feel pretty comfortable that you can't get to do all the things that I get to do unless you can do them okay. All right? So like those things don't hurt me. And so I can be dismissive of that. When I see, and even people in our industry who are just constantly popping off just for no reason. They're just popping off negative stuff, starting fights.
Yeah.
Like I know some of those people. I could tell you the names off air. I see them do it all the time. And I can tell you privately, they're just not happy with themselves.
Yeah.
They're struggling in ways, and this is the way they deal with it. But if you're wondering, why is so-and-so just popping off all the time? Because he hates himself, and he hates where he's found himself in his career. And he's lost every good job he's had. And this is his way to try to remain relevant, is to try to shit-talk other people who have the types of jobs he wants and in some cases used to have.
That's tough.
Yeah.
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 The Braves baseball situation this week, I thought was a great example of it, and I just stayed out of it. But if I'd been younger, I probably would have like popped into the conversation. Now I'm like, who cares? This is so stupid for so many people to care about.
Perfect example. That is something that I would have done 20 minutes on 2 years ago or 15 years ago and tweeted about it and then engaged. And you know what I did this time?
Nothing.
I was like,
absolutely nothing.
I'm going to let them fight about it.
But I brought this
me.
up to Chris the other night, is like any woman who did engage in it any woman who criticized it got eviscerated.
Sure.
I mean, like, just horrific things were said about them. And some of them to a point where like things were getting quote tweeted, and the quote tweet was getting 100,000 likes of like, well, this girl has an issue because she's never been asked for her number in her life, and just dudes dunking left and right. And I was like, man, if I was a young person, that would have rocked me to my core. And now I'm just I'm not even playing with that.
I don't mean you, but like a young woman could jump into this debate and be like, I'm a sideline reporter, and if I did that, I would be ridiculed. And then
next thing you know,
10 men jump in and go, hey, fatty, nobody's trying to get your number.
No one has ever asked you for a number. Of course you.
So now
of course you have this take
now
because
you
you're
got
jealous of
strangers
this
beating
person.
you down.
And I'm like, oh my god, like why?
Like all of this does open
and
us up.
I don't want to say like when did we get so mean, because that feels stupid. Of course I know where we got so mean. We got so mean just like we got. I've seen so many people say, where did we get so apathetic about school shootings coming out of yesterday's school shooting?
Yeah, I watched that.
At Florida State.
I saw the shootings. I saw the dead body. I saw everything.
You saw the girl walk past with her Starbucks, and people were like, "How could
the
she?"
hell
I'm like,
was that?
That was weird.
Well, but what do you expect? These happen now. I'm not trying to be on the side of the
I'm
girl who
telling
walked
you,
by
there's no
with,
scenario where I could walk
Me
with a
neither. I would
Starbucks
have-
past a dead body.
But how old is this girl? This girl has now grown up in a world where you are told we don't even stop. If I hadn't seen, I think I woke up from a nap and I had a text from CJ about it. And if he had not sent me that text, I am not sure that I would have seen anything on it until I woke up this morning and read my like daily newsletters from various news publications. But I guess we ended up talking about it at the towel putting out yesterday, and one of our dear coworkers is younger, and we were talking, and I was like, from Columbine to now, and she's like, what's Columbine? And I was like, oh my God,
Right.
I am so old.
Yeah.
But also, since 1999, we've had so many school shootings that just, my larger point, I don't know how we got over here, but was just, we always say these things like, when did we get like this?
Yeah.
Well, over decades of this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like you just get to a point where the world gets meaner. We all turn our eyes and just move right along with our life. And
I do think.
How about that playing game?
I do think there's been, and we'll move on, I promise. There's like, I don't even know how we ended up in this stupid conversation. I do think there's like, people have always been mean. Like that exists. There's always been hatred in the world.
Yeah.
I do think social media has made our experiences more unpleasant than the other, nastier.
Yeah.
I don't care how I rank basketball teams. Without social media, there wouldn't be 50 people lined up every day to tell me I'm an idiot.
Yes.
All right? I could rank basketball teams in any order, any day, and without social media, I would not be told I'm an idiot 50 times a day. But because of social media, I am told all day long that by less successful people, broadly speaking, that I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
All right? That's a weird dynamic.
Right.
To have, it's just a weird thing.
Yes.
It doesn't happen in real life. To have people who, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
I know what you mean.
Let's move on. Hey, it's an elimination game tonight.
Hey.
8:30 tip inside FedEx Forum.
Is it must-win season?
I think it's definitely must-win season.
I think it's must-win season.
I'm trying to sell Bennett on it this way.
Okay.
I'll try to sell everybody on it this way.
Okay.
It's not every day you get to see your favorite NBA franchise host what amounts to a Game 7 in the postseason. All right? But that's more or less what this is.
Okay.
This is more or less a Game 7 on a Friday night. Now, we didn't see the first 6 games of the series. You didn't miss nothing.
Okay.
They didn't happen.
Are those 6 games in the room with us? Okay.
But Tonight is very much like a Game 7. If you are fortunate enough to get to a Game 7 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, it will be a situation where if you win, you will advance, and if you lose, your season is over.
Yeah.
That is exactly the same stakes as tonight. If you win tonight, you advance to a new thing. If you lose tonight, your season is over. This is just like a Game 7. It's a Game 7 on Friday night inside FedEx Forum.
Okay.
Tickets available, Grizzlies.com.
There's towels on the chair.
Towels on
4
chairs.
p.m.
Towels on the chair. For the M, and we're playing a Thank You, Nico chant in the final
we're
minute.
doing a thank you, Nico chant?
Once we're
When we're-
comfortably ahead in the
So
final seconds.
how do we feel about a whoop that trick in a play-in game? Like, are we?
I think we treat this like the playoffs.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, there's towels on the seats.
Can you whoop tricks in a playing game?
I think you can.
I think you
If
can.
we're treating it like a Game 7, I think you absolutely can.
I'm
Does
comfortable.
that come before or after the thank you, Nico chant? Like, we got to order this for the people in charge.
Yeah, I think clearly whoop that trick comes first.
Okay.
All right.
Because that's usually the symbol that.
Yeah.
This is for
game
sureties.
over. That
Yeah.
is the building's version of
Hammer, nail, coffin.
Exactly
Yes.
right. We're gonna do that. We're
Okay.
gonna have fun with that.
Okay.
And then as Jay Huff is dribbling out the clock, because that's what I want too, Jay Huff dribbling out the clock. Then we will start a thank you, Nico chant.
You want Jay Huff dribbling up? Okay.
Yeah, I just think for the visual, it's just
Okay.
better that way. And then we're going to start a thank
How about
you.
a reverse dunk? An up 20 Jay Huff reverse dunk.
I'll
Just
take
like
it.
throw the exclamation
I'll
point
take
on
it. And then we
Sportsmanship
start
be
a
damned.
thank you, Nico chant inside
Okay.
FedEx Forum for him trading Luka Doncic, and we're considering doing it in Spanish.
Oh,
Gracias, Nico.
why?
Because Bennett
Yeah,
said,
why did we get on that?
But the Spanish-speaking
Oh, yeah, 'cause
broadcast
I'm
team
sitting next to the
is right.
Spanish team,
I
yeah.
wanted Bennett to start the chant. He said he wouldn't do it. He didn't feel comfortable.
We should figure out what it is in Slovenian.
Oh, that's tough. I barely knew Spanish. In fact, I didn't know Spanish. Kyra had to help us. We forgot the word gracias.
We did forget
No,
how
you
to
did
say
not.
gracias.
I swear to God, I looked
Havala.
at Bennett.
Havala Nico.
Havala,
Havala Nico.
I like that too.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Havala Nika. Does this mean I'm part Slovenian now?
I think you might
Havala
be.
Nika. Thank you, Nika. I looked right at Bennett earlier and I said,
How
Bennett.
do you say thank you in
I
Spanish?
said, Bennett, like we should say thank you, Nico, but we can do it in Spanish. But like, what's
That would happen to
do you
me,
know?
Bennett. I'm
do you
sorry.
know? Do you know what the thank you is? It's in Kyra was like, it's gracias, you idiots.
Well, in French, it's merci.
Merci
I think,
beaucoup.
I think I knew that.
That's thanks a lot.
That's thank you very much.
Very much.
What is it in Italian?
I almost said a arrivederci.
I remember being in Italy and there was like you got on a little
Yeah,
kit where
I
every time
know.
somebody did something you had to say
Oh,
this
it's
word.
grazie,
Grazie,
duh.
grazie, grazie. I remember just saying grazie all
Our
the
big
time.
joke was we did Duolingo Italian before we went on our honeymoon, and the only thing we could remember how to say was "mangia la mela." I am eating an apple. Mangia la mela.
I think I learned one German word.
Okay.
It was like ogre. I forgot it. Obengarden or something like that. It was elbow. I learned elbow. I knew elbow for some reason.
Auf Wiedersehen.
That's goodbye.
So long,
Farewell.
farewell.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. Adieu.
How many languages?
And you.
How many languages does Kyra know? Does Kyra know all the languages?
Is Kyra a secret? What's it called? A didac?
What's that? I have never heard that in my life.
Calm down. Calm down.
I swear.
Calm down. We're not. That's going to. You're going to have to go to HR
I
for that
believe
one.
bilingual would be the.
Well, that would be two.
Well, that would be only be two.
Multilingual.
It's actually
Well, she's already fed
it's
us two
actually,
different
it's even
languages,
Worse.
yeah.
It's a polyglot.
Uh-huh.
A polyglot is someone who has a deep love for languages.
Kyra might be that.
Didactic?
She could be. You got to talk to her about that. I don't feel comfortable speaking on her behalf.
What is that word?
About her ability with multiple languages.
Yeah,
I don't feel like that's. I'm not comfortable with that.
Is there a band?
Feels like there's a band outside.
Something's going on out there.
There's something going on out
You want me
there.
to look? Y'all keep talking. I'll go
Okay.
look.
All right, Bennett, get out of here. I just remember being in Italy all the time and saying grazie. I got into a habit of saying grazie.
We would say. Now I can't remember what we would say. There's another word that we used all the time.
What do you
That
think?
then we used it. Oh, ciao.
Ciao.
Ciao bella.
Ciao.
And then
ciao
when
is
you're in
good.
Argentina, they only say ciao.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Italian culture in
I can't-
Argentina.
There's a huge parade going on.
Well, that's.
There's a parade inside my city, yeah?
It's not a Grizzlies parade though.
Oh, that's odd.
It's a South African parade. Wait, what's Memphis in May this year? It says South Africa.
I
on the
just
banner.
learned the word gracias. I don't know if you should be trying to ask me
It says
about.
South Africa on the big banner that they have.
All
Hold
right.
on.
All right.
It's South Korea, Bennett.
That says South Africa on the banner
There's
that
a
they have. I'm telling you.
slight
Well,
difference.
all right. There's a South African parade outside on Good Friday.
What is?
It's not every day you get a South African parade in downtown Memphis on Good Friday.
It says it's South Korea.
It might not be Memphis in May.
And we just had a South Korean barbecue festival because of Memphis in May, so it has to be South Korea.
I'm sure this is something we should know about.
But
it seems pretty obvious that we don't.
No, you know what? I think we could know more.
Africa in April.
Africa in April.
There you go.
Boom.
But don't get proud of yourself,
Yeah.
man. I think
Come
Howard
on.
probably
You
just
said
said
it was
that in
Memphis
your
in
ear,
May.
too.
I Googled Memphis in May. It says South Korea. I don't get to see the parade, so it would be understanding
Fair
that
enough.
I
So
thought
this
it
is
was South
Africa in
Korea.
April?
Yes, there's a parade going on right now, right outside our office.
Well, it sounds great.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds great. All right, let's get out of here.
I got dogs.
Yeah, you got dogs to walk. I got a plane to catch.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we got a whole
That's
bunch.
exciting.
Yeah. What I said earlier was I assume if it is possible for John Morant to play, he will try to play. If you don't see him in...
His ankle is the size of a tree.
If you see him in street clothes, you can do a Twitter search for his name and it'll get real mean.
Sure.
I'm not going to question a person on this stage. A Tuesday night game in January, maybe he doesn't play sometimes when he 100% could.
Yeah.
If you don't see him play tonight, I'm going to believe it's just
He's
not
really
possible.
hurt.
It's not possible.
And I think we see him play tonight.
I do too. I think we'll at least see him
really
try. I think we'll see him try. And like for his own, and I'm not suggesting he should care about this, but it's showing the world I'm trying.
And he just did it.
Yeah,
He just showed.
I know
got
this
it
is
out,
not
come
this.
back.
You
I
don't
know.
have to prove anything to anybody, but it's an easier night on social media. People see you try, and
Yeah.
even if you struggle, and then you have to remove yourself from it. That's one thing. And I'm not going to join the chorus. I'm just saying it'll be out there. It'll be ugly and nasty. I'm going
I
to
just
assume he
want
plays.
him to play because I want the Grizzlies to beat the Mavs, and I want us to have a playoff game that we're talking about on Monday because the Grizzlies played it on Sunday, and they stole Game 1 in OKC. You know what they say? It's not a series till the home team loses.
That's right. That's right.
I want a series off the bat.
I want to wake up on Monday.
Oh, I want it.
I want to come to FedEx Forum. I want this parade to be over by
Yep.
then. And I want to sit down and
I want the parade to still be going in celebration.
like a Cory Booker type of parade.
Like filibuster parade.
Like the Cory Booker of parades.
The parade that never ends.
The parade that never ends.
But they can go to the bathroom.
I want to come in here on Monday morning, sit down next to you, and I want to say, all right, so what do you think of Game 2, Grizzlies Thunder? How do you think that's going to go down? That's what I want to do on Monday.
dream.
Can we do that on Monday?
I would love nothing more.
All right, let's do that on Monday.
See you
and
then.
you go walk your dogs.
Thank you.
And I'm going to, I guess, just keep listening to a parade.
This is great.
Is this going to be here the whole time?
I hope so.
I kind of do too. You enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you about a victory on Monday.
Okay, in my green pants.
In your green pants. That's Jessica Benson. She'll be back in studio Monday, 8 a.m. When we come back, rough Thursday for Penny Hardaway's program. PJ Haggerty is in the transfer portal. And it sounds like there's millions of dollars waiting on him somewhere. And if Memphis doesn't figure out how to match or at least get in the ballpark, they could be losing an All-American guard. We'll dive in next. Gary Parrish Show presented by Ortho South.
In honor of George Foreman, decided to do a pick six on 6 greatest heavyweight boxers of all time.
Number 4, my guy, Mike Tyson. There is no greater feat that I've had. Like if I had my Mount Rushmore of things that I've accomplished in my life, the very first time I beat Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson Punch-Out.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe Award-winning superstar, Mary J. Blige, live in Memphis. The For My Fans Tour, live at FedEx Forum Saturday, April 19th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at livenation.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige, for one night only.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing beats catching your Grizzlies IRL, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back with tickets to every upcoming matchup. Whether you're catching the Grizzlies at home or on the road, you'll find tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Grizzlies tickets today. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside again soon, Memphis.
I never in a million years would have ever thought that John Cena's final run would be as a heel.
I love it.
I love it.
Once they saw this from The Rock.
They knew it. Everybody knew it except for Cody, which was so good.
Great camera work by
And then the
WWE.
kick. Yeah, I don't think WWE gets enough credit for the camera work and the production quality. I mean, it is incredible.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
Orthopedic injuries can be unpredictable, unforeseen, and unscheduled, and Ortho South understands this better than anyone. Since your injuries don't make appointments, you don't need to either, and that's because Ortho South welcomes walk-ins during the weekdays, in the evenings, and even on Saturdays. So next time an unforeseen injury makes an unscheduled appearance in your life, visit orthosouth.org to find your nearest urgent care location. Just walk in and Ortho South will take care of everything, especially you. Learn more at orthosouth.org. That's orthosouth at orthosouth.org. Now I got 5 more things you need to know.
Number 1.
It was not a great day for the University of Memphis men's basketball program. Big Bet Bennett. The thing we had feared might happen, it has become our reality. All-American guard P.J. Haggerty is in the transfer portal. Your thoughts?
Okay, it's obviously not good news.
Obviously not good news. We can agree on that.
I don't think it's incredibly surprising. I think that the money that was being thrown out there, probably north of $3 million, was going to be tough for the University of Memphis to come up with to give to one player, especially when you got to build a roster. So I'm not shocked by it. It's just kind of the state of where we're at in college basketball right now. But, you know, it's disappointing. I don't think it's necessarily all bad. It's not good. I'm not going to sit here and try to
Let's be clear. It does not mean he will not play for Memphis next season.
That's right. That's right.
According to the university, Penny Hardaway and the staff have been told by P.J. Haggerty and whoever else is involved in the decision-making process that P.J. Haggerty is in the transfer portal, will evaluate all options, and that returning to Memphis remains on the table. It could be a situation where it is as simple as this. Get in the transfer portal, see what's real and what isn't. We just learned from the former Tennessee quarterback that just assuming things is probably not the smartest way to do anything.
Good point, yeah.
All right? Just assuming things is probably not smart. Get in the transfer portal, let the world know, and the world does now know. It's a lead headline on all national websites.
Right.
It was probably the biggest news story connected to college basketball yesterday.
All-American, free agent.
Perhaps if you wanted to argue, like Duke lost a 5-star recruit who decided to decommit and make himself recruitable again. Chad Baker-Mazara at Auburn entered the transfer portal. He was a starter on the team that went to a Final Four. So other big developments, but P.J. Haggerty is probably the biggest headline. You get in there, you let everybody know that you're available, or at least you're willing to listen, and then get concrete offers and see what they are. And you know what you can always do? Circle back to Memphis and say, if this is how you feel, I don't want to leave. I love what this place has done for me. I love what we've accomplished here. I want to try to do it again and go further. I don't want to leave. But I do have an SEC school offering me $3.1 million and a Big 12 school offering me $2.9 million. I don't want to leave. I would like to play here, but I can't leave that kind of money on the table. You understand that.
Yep.
So can we make the money work? If so, I'm telling you, I'll stay here. If not, I have to leave. And then it comes down to some of the stuff you said, but also, you know, you're hearing people all the time right now say things like, well, Memphis doesn't have this kind of money. And broadly speaking, that's true. But like, Memphis can snap its fingers and have the money if somebody is willing to give it to them. It's not like Memphis needs to check their balance at Bank of Bartlett and see, well, we don't have much money in here. I don't want to put pressure on anybody, but there is a way to resolve this. It's just FedEx saying, here's $3 million. It's just Bill Lawry saying, here's $3 million. It's just whomever saying, that's the way BYU is getting this done. BYU has got the projected number 1 pick in the 2026 NBA draft. They just got Baylor's point guard. This money wasn't just sitting in a bank account somewhere. A super rich person just said, I want to buy this player, so I'm going to do it. That's what happened. And that can happen anywhere, including the University of Memphis.
Yeah.
Is it easy? No, it's not easy. And do you put incredible stress to keep going back to the same entities and asking them for millions of dollars for renovations, facilities, conference realignment support, all that? I get it. It's tough. And I don't blame anybody for just saying, no, we've done enough. We've done enough. I get it. Like, I'm not going to be the one paying for PJ Haggerty, okay? It ain't me, so I don't feel comfortable telling somebody else they should. But I will say, this is where you find out what kind of basketball program you want to be. This is where it's at. There is no indication, I mean zero, that you are going to lose PJ Haggerty if you lose him because he hates Memphis and doesn't want to be here and wants to play on a bigger stage and go to a bigger conference. None of that has been said or reported or suggested or according to sources or nothing. If he leaves here, based on everything I've read and been told, it will be a money thing. It will simply be because I can't say no to $3 million from this school and play at Memphis for significantly less than that. I can't do that. Like, as I tweeted last night, it's just the truth. PJ Haggerty might go on to be in the NBA and play for 15 years and make $200 million, all right? But that is certainly not the way he's projected, okay? Go look at any mock draft. He ain't on them, okay? It is likely that the most money he will ever make playing basketball, dribbling a basketball, scoring points, it is likely the most money he'll ever make doing that is going to be the money he makes in college. He should maximize that. It would be financially irresponsible not to. It doesn't mean you have to take the best offer in terms of money. Like, whoever puts the most money on the table, that's where I'm going. No. You don't take a job you don't want. But you don't take a job for a quarter of the salary. You find the job you want that is going to give you as much money as they can give you, and then that's the one you take. I hope it's Memphis, but I don't blame him at all for putting himself in this position. If you're Memphis, just to circle back, this is now where you find out what kind of program you're going to be. Are you going to lose a player over money or not? Because that's all it would be, apparently, money. Let me tell you a story about Gonzaga, because I think it's apples to oranges, but I think you'll get the point. Once upon a time, Gonzaga came into the pyramid and played the University of Memphis and beat them very early in the season. And it was like, who is this? And how did they just whip Memphis like that? And that year, they went on to finish 28-7 and make it to the Elite Eight of the NCAA tournament. First Elite Eight in school history, first significant run in school history. And immediately after that season was over, their coach, Dan Monson, left for Minnesota. And if you talk to Dan, because I've had this conversation with him at a blackjack table in Las Vegas, you know what he'll tell you? GP, I don't remember the exact numbers, but it's something like this. I was making $125,000 at Gonzaga. And Minnesota offered me $900,000 a year, something like that, $1 million a year. This is back in 1999. I was making like $100,000. And I was happy, but like somebody else offered me $1 million basically. And he said, I didn't want to go. There's nothing about that. There's nothing about that I wanted to go. I didn't want to leave Gonzaga. I didn't want to leave the Pacific Northwest. I didn't want to relocate my family. For every reason you would want to take a job, none of those existed outside of money. He was just like, I can't turn down that money. At some point, like it's whatever the deal was, 4 years, $4 million, 5 years, $5 million. You're making $100,000 and somebody just giving you $5 million, you got to take it, right? So he took the job. They promote Mark Few. And in year one, Mark Few goes 26-9, goes to the Sweet 16, then goes to another Sweet 16. It became very obvious, we're about to lose this guy too over money. You know what they decided? Right here, right now, this is not what we're going to be. We're not going to be a feeder system for the big schools. We like what we're doing. Mark Few can leave us if he just wants to be the coach at Oregon or wants to be the coach at UCLA, but he will not leave us over money. And they said, we're going to invest in our program, invest in him, and create a thing here that he never wants to leave. We'll figure out how to pay for it later, but we're never going to lose somebody over money again. Fast forward all these years later, it is one of the strongest and biggest brands in college basketball. Memphis now finds itself, for different reasons, in a similar situation. Do you want to be the type of program that loses an All-American player to a bigger program for reasons none other than money? Or do you want to be the type of player that shows the type of program that shows the world you can't just buy our players. You can go buy UAB's players. And just because we're in the same league as UAB, like, don't think you can do that to us. We don't lose our players over money. This is it. This is where you find out.
Yeah,
I don't know what the answer is, but you'll get it. You'll get it at some point.
I thought it was kind of interesting how it all played out yesterday because you had the PJ Haggerty news, and then a few minutes later you had the news that Dane Danger,
which appears to be nothing. His mom talked to Jason Mines and said, "We're not in the transfer portal. We don't even know if we have eligibility, but if we do, we're playing at Memphis."
And then he posted on Twitter, no decisions have been made. I'm not going anywhere. And then PJ Haggerty retweeted that.
That's fine. I'm not going to spend a second trying to.
It's just kind of weird.
interpret college-age players
on Twitter
and social
Fair
media.
enough.
I like the same thing with Ja and emojis.
Yeah,
y'all can get in there and try to figure them out if you want to. I don't have that kind of energy. Here's what I believe: he's in the transfer portal. He will explore all opportunities, and then he'll put them all on the table, and he'll make a decision that's best for he and his family, based on whatever matters most to him. I don't blame him for doing it, but if you're Memphis, we will find out exactly what this program is in this time when this decision is made. If PJ Haggerty signs with a different school, and the report is it was, so many millions of dollars, and he says, I something along the lines of, I didn't want to leave Memphis, but I can't pass up this kind of money, then you'll know that Memphis wasn't putting that kind of money on the table. And this will be two decisions inside of a year where Memphis did things that I would personally believe are counterproductive for the big picture of Memphis athletics, and they didn't do them because of money. Joining the Pac-12, why didn't they do that? Exit fees. They said it's too expensive. We don't have the money for that. Now, if you lose PJ Haggerty, why would you lose him? Money. We don't have the money for that. I understand, but then at that point, that's what you are. I understand. Like, I'm not arguing with Ed Scott about money. He's got a better idea of what kind of money's around than I do, right? I'm not arguing with him. But if you can't change conferences over money, and you can't keep your basketball player over money, you got a real money problem. And if you got a real money problem, you got a real program problem. Hopefully it has a good ending.
Number 2.
Phoenix Suns owner Matt Ishbia held a press conference yesterday and said a whole bunch of stuff, including that this past season was a, quote, failure. Remember, it was a year ago where he said 26, 27 of the other NBA franchises would trade positions with us without question.
Yeah.
They would take our roster. They would take our draft picks. They would take our assets. They would take everything. And we all looked at him and like, no, I don't think so. Like, I don't think the Boston Celtics would trade with you.
No.
I don't think the Memphis Grizzlies would trade with you. I know the Oklahoma City Thunder would trade with you. I don't think many people would trade for you. Then, of course, they go 36-46 this season. Finish 11th in the West. They don't even make the play-in. Whenever you start feeling bad about the Grizzlies, remember, you're not the Suns. And finally, the owner circles back and is like, okay, you were right. Failure. Failure. Here's the biggest problem for them. Their big three, like the idea of it. Like everybody has an idea of a big two or a big three. In Memphis, it's Ja, Jaren, Dez. And when they're all on the court together, pretty good. They're just not all on the court together that often. So if you want to try to figure out why did the Grizzlies finish 8th in the standings, A, they de-emphasized the regular season and didn't prioritize winning. B, in part at least, Ja Morant only played 50 games. Here's the thing. Even in Phoenix, when their big three played, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal,
wasn't great.
They weren't good. They were 19 and 18 when those three players played together with a negative point differential. They just wasn't. It just put together terribly. Yeah. It's just a badly constructed, poorly constructed team. So the owner goes on and on. He's talking this to. Here's what he said. Check this quote out. Tell me what you think of this.
Okay.
You ready for this? I don't know if you're gonna like this. He said, "It was an embarrassing season, right? Disappointing." Awful. I watch every game like all you guys do, and no one's proud of it. No one's happy with it. From me to the front office, to the coaches and players, to the marketing executives, to the security guards. It was a failure. And I want to put a team out there on the court that everyone is proud of. It has to have an identity similar to the city of Phoenix. Some grit, some determination, some work ethic, some grind. some joy.
Come on, man.
We just haven't that. The Phoenix Suns owner has identified what he wants his franchise to represent. And some of the words he used were grit and grind. What are we doing?
Yeah, because, I mean, that's the first thing I think of when I think of sunny Phoenix, Arizona.
Gritty.
Is grit and grind.
Gritty and grindy?
Yeah, in the mud in Phoenix. No, that's ridiculous. No, I mean, I think that, like, the biggest issue with them is you paid 3 amazing players, and again, like you said, like, you just didn't surround them with anything. Like, their roster was just so bad.
And then the other issue they ran into is they tried to trade 2 of the 3 at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever been in a situation and found out very publicly that your employer was trying to get rid of you. But that is more or less what happened to Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant.
Mm-hmm.
That destroys chemistry and any sort of buy-in. And,
right.
You know, it is what it is. They'll blow the whole thing up this summer. I wish them luck.
Number 3.
Damian Lillard is now off of blood thinners, is still considered out for game 1 of Milwaukee's first round series, but is expected to play later on this postseason, according to Doc Rivers. So that's good news, isn't it?
That's awesome, man. I think that, we thought that there was probably a decent chance that his season was done after this news, and the fact that it looks like he's got a good chance to come back for the postseason. That's really cool. I'm a big Dame fan. So
I think everybody likes Dame Lillard. He did everything he could in Portland, never really threw a fit. Ultimately, it was best for everybody to split up. The thing in Milwaukee hasn't gone well. Then you get like real life scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These things are, these blood clots they're life threatening, and by extension career threatening. And apparently one of the keys, his recovery, like in getting off of blood thinners, is like record speed. They say that their doctors have never seen anything like it. I don't know that means it's unprecedented, but their doctors have said they have never seen anybody go from here to here as quickly as Dame has done it. And the explanation is they caught it early, which is great. Yeah. This is one of the things about being an NBA player. If you're a podcast producer and you don't feel so well, you might just like take some Advil and, lay down. But if you're an NBA player and you don't feel so well, they take you to the doctor immediately and they run everything on you. They caught this early. And you ready for this? They started treating him for this deep vein thrombosis before he was even diagnosed with it. They just said, we think this might be it, so let's start treatment now, and we'll get the diagnosis later. So they started treating before they even had the diagnosis. That's how early they were addressing this, and it's going to perhaps save his postseason, and by extension his career, by extension his life. So good news. We won't see Dame Lillard this weekend, but we should see him back on a court soon.
Number 4.
Aaron Rodgers updated the world yesterday on his current employment status, because there have been reports that he's connected to the Steelers, but he won't give them a decision, and he's, quote, holding up the Pittsburgh Steelers. Did you see how I responded to this yesterday?
Yeah, I did. Go ahead. I did, yeah.
Well, first thing, he said the meeting with the Jets was weird. He flew all across the country, walked in, and like 20 seconds into the meeting, they were like, you want to play some football? And he was like, I'm thinking about it. Sure, I'm interested. And they were like, well, we're going in another direction at quarterback. Which I find Aaron Rodgers insufferable.
I was just going to say
this. But
this.
I get that. I get being pissed about that. Yo, man, you could have texted me that.
Two things can be true.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers can be kind of a weird dude, and the Jets can be an absolute disaster.
That's right. Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo, and the Jets are
a disastrous franchise.
Are unserious.
Yes.
His whole thing was, though, I thought we were coming here to talk and like see if we could figure something out.
Yeah, run it back,
and maybe
try
we can't.
something.
Maybe we can't figure something out, which is fine. But I thought we were going to talk about something. Why am I flying here to just be told we're going in a different direction? Text me that, buddy. I can go play golf.
He said it got standoffish with him and Aaron Glenn, that they were like, you don't know me. You don't know me.
Yeah,
like,
the whole thing got weird. It's clear they didn't want him, and they probably thought he's a Hall of Famer. We owe him the respect to tell him face to face. But like, you also have to know who you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with Aaron Rodgers, if you're just going to tell him we're going in another direction, just text it and be done with it.
Yeah.
All right. So I get him being frustrated by that. The other thing he said is, and I also kind of understand this. They were like, well, there's some reports that you're holding up the Pittsburgh Steelers. He said, I know there are reports that. He said, let me tell you what I told the Steelers and any other franchise that's talked to me. I'm paraphrasing here, but this is what he said. I told them all, I'm on my own timeline. I will make a decision when I'm ready. And if you want to wait, great. If you don't, I understand. I am not asking you to wait on me. That would be ridiculous of me to ask you to wait on me when I don't know what I'm going to do. But I'm not making a decision because you need me to now. And I'm not making a decision because anybody else needs me to now. And if I look up and when I'm ready to make a decision, nobody wants me, then I might have misplayed my hand. But I will make this decision on my timeline, and I don't have to be rushed for anybody else. I'm not asking anybody to wait on me. I understand that. I get it.
I do too.
Now, it might be counterproductive. The Steelers might move on. Somebody else might move on. You look up and you don't have as good of options as you had. But he seems to understand those are the stakes, and he's comfortable with it. I don't know. I don't need to see Aaron Rodgers talking on TV every week. But I thought just yesterday, as it pertained to these specific things, I kind of understood. I kind of understood some of his points at least.
Number 5.
We got a new Star Wars movie coming. Ryan Gosling is going to be the star.
We got this in.
Are you fired up, Bennett?
I am fired up.
How does Ryan Gosling become the biggest movie star in the world? Because that's what he seems to be.
He is the biggest movie star in the world. No, he's not the biggest in the world.
He's one of them.
I might put that on Michael B. Jordan because he got a big movie coming out this weekend that everybody's saying is awesome.
Yep. Sinners.
Yeah, I'm going to see it tomorrow.
Okay.
So this is a set after the last trilogy. So the one that people were mixed on. I liked it, but whatever. But I think the biggest thing, like you said, like the fact Star Wars has been kind of taking some hits lately, just because it's like, okay, what are we doing here? Or is this overkill? Have we done too much? And then Disney kind of pulled back a little bit and was like, let's wait and not put out new content like every couple months like Marvel does, because people just aren't really buying it as much as they used to. But when you get a star like that attached to a Star Wars movie,
people are excited.
I think people are going.
That's Ken. That's Ken doll.
That's Ken.
That's Ken doll.
Yes, I'm just Ken. It's going to be.
That's the Notebook and the Ken doll.
Yeah.
So what are we even talking about?
Exactly. It's called Star Wars Starfighter. So I'm assuming he's going to be a pilot.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm assuming he's going to be a pilot.
You got to help me here. When I was growing up, I loved Star Wars. I had all the stuff, the Millennium Falcon, whatever you called that. Yep. I had all the stuff. I had all the action figures. I watched all the movies. I loved it to death. Mm-hmm. And then they picked up after the first 3. Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and whatever the other one was. Mm-hmm. And then they picked up and started making new ones like a long time later, and I never got into them. And now I'm just behind. I've never seen anything other than the original 3 Star Wars trilogy.
Oh, I think you should definitely watch the prequels in the new trilogy.
Should I plan movie night with my children?
Yeah.
And we watch these films to get ready for Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, as far as like all the shows and spin-offs and stuff like that, The Mandalorian's great. They got a new movie coming out that's attached to that show next year, I think. And that show's great. But as far as like all the other shows and stuff like that, I don't think you have to get in all that. But I would watch all the movies. There's not that many of them. You got 3, 6, 9. There's 11 movies total.
All right, maybe they'll do it. Maybe I'll put that on my summer to-do list.
Yeah, you do it.
All right.
Yeah, do it. I think it's totally worth it. I would go, or if you're watching it with your kids, I would go in order of when they came out, not the order of the movies.
I agree.
So I would go original trilogy, prequel trilogy, new trilogy.
Okay.
Yes.
We're going to do that.
Yeah, I think y'all should do it. I'd be interested to see what their favorites are as, kids of the new generation.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, man.
All right.
I like it. I'm excited. Good news.
It is good news. Ryan Gosling's going to be in Star Wars. Long time coming, I think. Be back with GP's Carryout.
We touched on this earlier, the panel here, about what really has been the mainstay of the Grizzlies, and that's Jaren Jackson Jr. Trip has just been awesome.
He's posting guys up. He's stronger than he's ever been. He's physical, and he's scoring all type of ways.
Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizzbeat, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, one exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season. Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item, whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
Thanks for showing up, Memphis. Nothing compares to catching your Grizzlies IRL. And that all starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight. Put that jersey collection to use for the next game and get Grizzlies tickets at Ticketmaster. Whether they're here at FedEx Forum or on the road, Ticketmaster's got your back when it comes to scoring tickets. And there's no better brag than saying you saw it live.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
Welcome back, Gary Parrish Show, presented by Ortho South. Let's wrap this thing up with GP's Carryout.
It's time for GP's Carryout. One final segment filled with stuff to take with you. It's not everything you need to know, but it's most of it. What did we learn today?
Whole bunch of stuff, but we mostly focused on your Memphis Grizzlies because it's a big one tonight inside FedEx Forum. Elimination game, a game. It's basically like a game 7, right? It's like a game 7 inside FedEx Forum. It's like a game 7.
Okay.
What do we know about game 7s? If you win them, you advance. If you lose them, your season's over. This is basically a game 7 on a Friday night. Could I interest you in a game 7 on a Friday night?
You absolutely can.
8:30 tip. Tickets available, Grizzlies.com. Obviously, the biggest story going into it, will Ja Morant play? He's on the status report, listed as questionable right ankle sprain. We saw it all happen in HD on Tuesday night. It looked bad. It was bad. They did something to get him to a place where he could get through that night, return to the game and get through that night. But at practice yesterday, he was a non-participant and was noticeably limping. He's now listed as questionable. It will be a game time decision. At some point before tip-off, we will get word. Either Ja Morant will or will not play. And I can't predict that exactly. But what I do feel comfortable saying is if it is practical for him to play, like if he can play, I believe that he will.
I think so too.
I believe that he will okay whatever they have to do to get him to play, and he will give it a shot. I believe he'll give it a shot. I don't know how effective he will be. It's a right ankle sprain, suffered a couple days ago. But if it's possible for him to play, I believe that he will. And if he is in street clothes, here's what I will assume. Not that he's soft or this. I will assume that he can't play.
Same.
We saw it. We saw what happened. If this were the regular season, he would not be playing basketball tonight. I do not think.
I don't either.
If he doesn't play, I know people will do what they do, but it won't be me.
No.
I won't question this guy's heart. I believe he wants to play. I believe if he can play, he will play. And if he doesn't, I will believe it's because they reached a point where there is nothing they can do to get him on a basketball court. We'll see.
What's today's biggest
Was
game?
obviously Grizz Mavericks here in FedEx Forum, but let's look to the East.
Okay.
Heat Hawks, 6 o'clock on TNT. Also an elimination game. Doesn't the East just seem so lame? The play-in portion of the East as opposed to the West. The West has just been kind of interesting. You've got a Mavericks franchise that's been in the news nonstop. The Grizzlies that were just the second place in the West back at the end of February. You had Steph Curry involved in it. Just seems like the West is more interesting than the East.
I mean, dude, if we're being honest, the play-in tournament as a whole, besides Grizzlies Warriors, has not been good. It just has not been good this year.
I don't care anything about Heat Hawks.
No, the East is brutal.
I don't care anything about that. But at 8:30 tonight, we will get Mavericks Grizzlies. Heat Hawks, Atlanta is a 1.5-point favorite at home.
Oh, because they're at home.
They're playing inside State Farm, baby. Total's 218.5. How you going to act?
Give me the Heat.
Bennett said take the Heat. He's not going to bet against Eric Spoelstra in a play-in game. Are you crazy? He's not taking Eric Spoelstra's opponent in a play-in game. Bennett ain't falling for that trick. Heat plus 1.5.
What are we watching on TV?
It's the final.
We're here.
It's the final SmackDown. before WrestleMania.
I don't know what to think.
It's the final SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Listen, we got to call it like it is. I love wrestling. I love WrestleMania. I'm going to watch WrestleMania.
Yes.
Am I excited about WrestleMania? Not like I have been in the past. I'm just not.
I'm not feeling the stuff I like to feel. I don't feel right now.
I have goosebumps typically.
I like to feel things.
I get butterflies in my stomach. I'm not feeling that this time.
I don't feel things right now.
Yeah, and I think the lead up has just not been that great.
It just hasn't.
I did see, I know Triple H hates this, but I did see one of the wrestling accounts say that it's likely The Rock's going to show up this
tonight?
weekend. No, this weekend.
Well, he'll be there. Yeah. Well, like part of the whole thing is he's the one who
made it happen.
Got John Cena's soul. So he's got to play a role in this somehow.
Yeah.
Right?
He'll be there.
John Cena is expected to be at SmackDown tonight, so we'll get the last sort of whatever for that. I don't know, but like I'm with you. I don't feel it like I should, but I'm still like interested, and I'm happy to keep an open mind.
I just want my tribal chief to come out on top again and reclaim his status as the main guy. Okay. And we talked about his story yesterday, how we don't have that many years left of competing at this high level. It's time to reclaim our status.
I love when that music hits.
I love it.
And the whole is like, boom, boom. And the whole arena goes just like this. Whole arena gets that one up. I love it.
I love it.
I love getting my one up.
I'm a big CM Punk guy too, but I'm sorry. I ain't turning my back on Roman.
Do you get your one up when you're at home by yourself?
You're damn right I do.
Too,
Dude,
time.
I also bust out the John Cena towel too. Like, I bust that out. I hope he beats Cody's ass.
I get my one up. I could be sitting in my office by myself. If Roman Reigns is walking out, my one is up.
Yes.
I can't not have my one up.
No doubt.
All right, let's go. I'm fired up. SmackDown tonight.
Okay.
What's the best thing we've read?
Pat Forty, SI.com, had a beautiful column on Lee Corso and Dick Vitale and how ESPN has sort of handled them aging with just the most comfort and respect. Both of those men are icons of media, icons of their sport. They also have aged in a way and dealt with medical issues that have made doing the jobs they do more difficult than they used to be for them. And in an industry that can be unforgiving and just push people out when they start to slip at all or gain weight or age, particularly women, ESPN has really done right by these two men who are, by all, like, I don't know Lee Corso, I know Dick. Just a sweetheart of a man, and everything I hear about Lee Corso suggests he's very similar. It was just sweet. I'm glad Pat wrote this column. It's easy to bang on ESPN for a million different reasons, but like they have handled those men right. It was sweet. You can read it at SI.com.
What's on tap next week?
Well, on Monday, man, who knows? We'll either be talking about the end of a season or getting ready for Game 2 of Thunder and Grizzlies. I hope it's the latter.
Me too. Go Grizz.
Go Grizz. Go Grizz. Let's have a good weekend. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to enjoy mine. And let's meet back here Monday at 10. Till then, be careful, be kind, be good. Rep your hood.